Whether it's shuttling half the soccer team to an away game, bringing home groceries from the store, or doing a little of both, large crossover SUVs give you the flexibility that few other vehicles provide. And among these modern beasts of burden, the 2015 Chevrolet Traverse stands out as one of the best available, thanks to its expansive interior space, smooth ride, and top crash test scores. So, let's go ahead and check it out. Now this Traverse we have here is the 2LT trim. It comes pretty well equipped with dual zone automatic climate control, a full-on leather interior, and Chevrolet's MyLink infotainment system. Now it's also in this okay looking siren red tri-coat exterior color. Now as far as styling goes on the vehicle, it was last updated in the 2013 model year, and what they really did was change the headlights and the taillights just a little bit. It wasn't a full redesign, but this vehicle has been out since the 2009 model year, and it's getting pretty dated. You don't have anything like LED tail lamps, projector headlights, or LED daytime running lights to give it a much more stronger visual presence. It's just kind of okay in styling and non-offensive. Now essentially for the 2015 model year, the Traverse is pretty much unchanged except for the addition of Siri Eyes free voice control technology to models equipped with the MyLink infotainment system. Like I said, it is a siren red tri-coat exterior color with a full-on brown leather interior. Power driver's seat with power recline and power lumbar, of course. Now stepping on into the vehicle here, the first thing I'm really noticing is that it has a fairly looking high quality design here, and it's a very spacious cabin, which I really love, which is very important for families. The step-in height is also fairly low and has ease of ingress and egress. And what you're hearing is a 3.6 liter V6. Coming to your transmission, pretty standard stuff here. 6-speed automatic with lower gear selection. You have manual shiftability too. And then putting the vehicle into reverse displays your rear view camera with guidance lines and trajectory. And I'm going to go ahead and turn on the lights and fog lights and the hazards too. Automatic driver's side window. And let's go ahead and pop the hood and check out the engine bay. Heated exterior mirrors with LED turn signal indicators. Halogen headlights with halogen projector beam fog lights. Overall styling is very conservative and very inoffensive. Now under the hood here you have a 3.6 liter V6 producing 281 horses at 6,300 RPM and 266 pound-feet of torque at 3,400 RPM. With the EPA estimates being 17 in the city and 24 on the highway. Now, that might seem like good numbers for this class. However, the Traverse is a very heavy vehicle. Now, front-wheel drive is standard, but all-wheel drive is optional. Now, this powertrain you will also find in the platform mates of the GMC Acadia as well as the Buick Enclave. They have this same exact powertrain with a 6-speed automatic transmission. Now there's nothing too special about this powertrain. In other words, it really just gets the job done. Now trims of the Traverse start at the LS trim, which starts at $30,995, and then you have the LT, which starts at $33,795, and then you have the LTZ, which starts at $41,935. Now, competitors of the Traverse has many competitors. You have the Honda Pilot, Toyota Highlander, the Sales King, the Ford Explorer. You also do have GM's own GMC Acadia, the Buick Enclave, and then you also have the Nissan Pathfinder. There are many competitors in this class of the 3-row large crossover SUV segment. Pricing of this one is $43,780. Now, EPA estimates for this particular one is 16 in the city and 23 on the highway. That's if you get the all-wheel drive model. This one's all-wheel drive, but if you get the front-wheel drive, it'll actually be 17 in the city and 24 on the highway, which front-wheel drive is what most people choose. You have a rear window wiper with a rear window defroster, rear reflectors. Rear parking sensors as well. Take some styling cues from the Chevrolet Malibu. Of course, you have power windows, power mirrors, power door locks, chrome interior door handles, nice soft touch armrests, soft touch on mid door panel and upper door panel too. And let's go ahead and see how she sounds. Now, as far as build quality and materials go inside of this vehicle here, generally it's pretty good. Materials, there's a lot of soft touch padding and it feels pretty high quality overall. Lots of soft touch materials also up on the dashboard. It's pretty above average for the class. Now, as far as build quality goes, it is a little bit of a different story. There are panel gaps in this vehicle, and overall not everything fits well and is not really put well together. There are some vehicles that are better built, but overall it's a decent cabin in terms of build quality and materials, but it's not the best. Now, coming down here, you have your cup holders. You'll also find a USB port right there, 12-volt power outlet, and a large center console storage and another 12-volt power outlet. And then you also do have a lid for it too. And then you also do have a sliding armrest, and it's also nice, soft to the touch with nice stitching. And then also another little storage cubby right there. Coming up here, you have your interior illumination lighting, garage home link, and then your auto dimming rearview mirror with OnStar. Now, coming to the steering wheel design, I'm not really a big fan of this steering wheel design, mainly because of its dated appearance. And Chevrolet used to put a lot of these type of steering wheels in cars in their mid-2000s and late 2000s, but like I said, this vehicle was designed in 2009. It came out in 2009, but very dated steering wheel here. And another main reason why I don't like it is because of the thin steering wheel rim. It's kind of a throwback, because steering wheel rims used to be very thin in the 90s and the 2000s. But nowadays, steering wheel rims are very thick, but this is kind of like a throwback for me. But I'm not really a huge fan of this steering wheel. But you do have your cruise control buttons over here, your steering wheel mounted audio controls right here, and then Bluetooth phone controls and voice recognition. Now, the steering wheel does tilt and telescope, at least. Now also what I like about this cabin is that the brown leather interior is a very unique color, and it does spicing up this interior a whole lot more, because if it didn't have this brown leather, I think it would look pretty Spartan if it had regular black leather, which a lot of cars have. But this brown leather is definitely very unique. Now, coming to the center stack controls, I like how it's pretty simple and clean looking. It's not overly clustered with lots of buttons, but you do have your fan speeds right here, dual zone automatic climate control, by the way, and then your temperatures, your different zones, recycling, rear window defroster, front window defroster, and then your rear AC right there. And then coming down here, you have your heated seats, and then your power tailgate if you want that off or on, and then your tow and haul mode, your rear window wiper button, and then your traction control off button is right there as well. Now coming to the main head unit here, this is Chevrolet's MyLink system. Now I love the graphics and the rendering of it. However, the touchscreen is a bit small in my opinion, but the responsiveness of the touchscreen is pretty good. It's better than Cadillac's Q, as well as even Buick's IntelliLink at sometimes, but overall it's pretty good. You have your weather right here, then coming to your home button that reveals pretty much everything. You have your radio right here, AM, FM, XM satellite radio of course, navigation, destination, your traffic, phone, Pandora, Bluetooth streaming audio, text messaging, Stitcher, internet radio, a picture viewer, and then your USB port, and your optical disk drive, and then your auxiliary input is right there as well. And then you have your rear aux right there too. But as you can see, it's very quick. Love that about this system. Now the nav is a little dated in my opinion. I think the nav can use some work. Don't expect to find anything like 3D rendering of buildings. It looks decently crisp and clear, but there's just not enough color to it. It's just kind of like boring looking. But you can enter in destination by voice, of course. Coming to your menu, you can customize your home page, sort it out, restore homepage defaults. And then other settings include your text message options, Bluetooth device list, and then the display too. And then traffic settings, you can show traffic guidance, alert pop-ups while not in guidance, alert prompts. Overall, I think it's a pretty easy system to get used to, and I think that's a very important part. You also do have your digital clock right here, and then your exterior temperature readout.
Say a command or say help.
Radio commands.
Say the AM or FM station number, or say the XM channel name or number.
Tune to 102.5 FM.
Tuning to 102.5 FM.
It's a pretty good voice recognition system overall. Most of the time it will get it. So overall, I think the Chevrolet MyLink system is a pretty good system overall. I think they do have the fundamentals right. However, they do need to make the screen just a little bit bigger and the buttons a little bit bigger, and then maybe update the navigation system too. And then they do have a pretty good system on their hands. Now also another cool feature of this car is that you have the 4G LTE Wi-Fi hotspot connectivity that you can use through your smartphone, and Chevrolet has introduced that on all of their vehicles. Coming up here, you also do have a little neat storage spot up there. Pretty unique. Coming up here, you also do have a pretty unique little storage cubby right there. Now, as far as visibility goes inside of this vehicle here, the A-pillar is slightly thick. Outward visibility is okay. There's a decent amount of glass area on the sides right here. And then also, I did expect the rearward visibility to be a lot worse, but it is pretty good for being a 3-row crossover SUV here. But you do have a backup camera to help you out at least. And then also the exterior side mirrors do show quite a lot, I have to say. Now, as far as the seats go, the seats are very soft and they don't have a whole lot of support. You kind of just, when you're going around turns in this vehicle, you kind of just float out of your seat in this car. There's just not a whole lot of side bolstering here. And in other vehicles, you will find more supportive seats. These seats are just not that supportive. It's kind of like just sitting on a couch. Now, another reason why you could tell this is a pretty dated vehicle here is by the gauges. I don't expect to find anything like a little LCD screen at least, or even a TFT display. Anything of that nature is kind of just old basic GM style gauges here. You have your RPM gauge right there, speedometer, then your fuel gauge, and then up here is where it will show you different amounts of information, including your oil life, if you want your park assist on or off, and then your units, and then your tire pressure. And then also if you want to calibrate the compass. Doesn't really show a whole lot. I'm actually quite surprised it doesn't show things like average fuel economy. But overall, very basic looking gauges, not a pretty big fan of them. And then also, they don't have any kind of color display available. Now also what I love about this cabin is that it's very big and roomy, and I said that earlier in the video. But if you're looking for a very roomy cabin, the Traverse and its platform mates definitely won't disappoint. And I did find a pretty comfortable driving position. I'm about 5'11". Now, the Traverse displays exactly the kind of road manners you want in a large 3-row crossover SUV. The ride quality is comfortable, composed, and quiet on the highway, providing assuredness that drivers switching from bigger truck-based SUVs will appreciate. At the same time, the suspension delivers sure handling and surprisingly good maneuverability for such a large vehicle, although smaller rivals are more responsive to drive on twisting roads or in tight urban spaces. Now, the 3.6-liter V6 engine is fine for most day-to-day driving conditions, but feels a little anemic when maximum acceleration is called for, such as attempting to pass slower traffic on a 2-lane road. Now, the 6-speed automatic transmission generally delivers smooth gear changes, but can feel a little sluggish when you need a quick downshift in situations like getting up to speed on freeway on ramps. Alright, and let's go ahead and shut down the Traverse. Let's go ahead and check out the rest of the vehicle, including the cargo capacity and then the rear seat leg space, where the Traverse really shines in the class. Now, the Traverse is one of the best vehicles in the 3-row crossover SUV class for cargo capacity. And like I said, these rear seats do fold down to maximize cargo space by just pulling this up right here. Easy as that. And then you also do have a 12-volt power outlet back here. Power tailgate. Now, build quality and materials do follow through in the rear, at least. Nice soft touch materials on the armrest, mid-door panel, and upper door panel, and still chrome interior door handles for the rear. These second row seats also do recline. Now, you also do have captain's chairs back here. Rear seat DVD entertainment system. And then your rear climate controls are also right here. Dual map pockets. And then also you have little armrests for the captain's chairs. Overall, it's very roomy back here. And I have the driving position to where my driving position would be at. I'm about 5'11", and I have tons of room to spare back here. But it does remind me of a minivan back here because of the captain's chairs. But it's very comfortable. Alright, let's go ahead and hop in the third row. Now back here, not only will you find rear climate control buttons, but you also find rear video jacks, a 12-volt power outlet, and 2 USB ports down here. Now the video jacks are for your rear seat DVD entertainment system, of course. But I'm very surprised that they do give you 2 USB ports down there. Now if you're also looking for greater flexibility with these seats, you can also pull this up and this folds flat. Now getting into the third row is pretty easy. Just walk right through in this walkway. Fairly easy. Now sitting back here, the Traverse has one of the roomiest third rows in the class, and it does feel quite comfortable overall. And usually I'm very cramped in third rows, but the Traverse I'm actually fairly comfortable overall, and I'm pretty surprised. Now along with its platform mates, they're also pretty comfortable too, the GMC Acadia as well as the Buick Enclave. Now back here you also do have a cup holder and a little storage cubby. And the third row also folds flat too, which I'll show you in just a second. Full power passenger seat with power recline and power lumbar. Your glove box, nice and damped. Alrighty. So the 2015 Chevrolet Traverse checks nearly all of the right boxes for a large crossover SUV. It remains a solid choice for consumers who need 3 rows of seating and expansive cargo room. So remember that this is Cameron Birch from Cameron's Car Reviews.